you people, and welcome back to another ranking! Yes, people, it's yet time again that we're gonna rank another series, and I'm not gonna lie, Psycho is one of the best, it's one of the most classic ones, and let's face it, we all love Psycho, right? Do we all love Psycho? Yeah, okay, good, okay. Well, people are probably gonna comment right now like, Arden, how the hell have you seen Psycho? How old are you? I'm 100 years old. No, we said that. Okay. Anyway. So, guys, listen. Or people who like horror movies like me, Psycho is one of the horror movies you should have watched. And I'll be honest, I kind of liked it. Like with the Exorcist franchise, I haven't seen the Bates Motel TV show. I'm planning on doing that. I don't know if we're gonna rank the series yet again, or just gonna give you an updated comment in the comment section, like, oh, okay, I ranked the Bates Motel TV show somewhere there, you know. I don't know yet. But point short, I haven't seen it. So this is gonna be another short ranking, and so let's start. Yeah, let's dive into it. And yeah, let's get the show on the road. Coming dead last is Bates Motel. Like I just said, not the TV show Bates Motel. No, I'm talking about the Bates Motel TV movie. Well, no, not. Yeah. In fact, this is the only movie that ignored all Psycho sequels and was in fact the only made for a potential pilot for TV series. Yeah, well, it came only later. Yeah, so yeah, there you have it. So why this TV movie throws all sequels out of the window and tells us that Norman died in the asylum and left the hotel to his friend from the psychic war Alex West. Alex tries to fix up the place with some help of the locals, but they soon find the place haunted by young Jason Bateman of all people. Yeah, what does this have to do with Psycho again? Psycho is about trauma, abuse, and mental illness, not the supernatural. So why was this connection made? The problem is that it's so divorced from the tone of the rest of the series, this just doesn't work as a Psycho film. You literally could have had the Bates Motel in this film being anywhere else on Earth, written out the Norman Bates connection altogether, and it would literally be the same thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Psycho is not a damn ghost story. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. This movie is just boring. Moving on. Coming in number 5 is Psycho 4. Yeah, I just watched this again the other night for this ranking, and to say I was unimpressed would be an understatement. This is part prequel, part sequel where Norman Bates is somehow cured again. Well, I guess him being taken at the end of part 3 didn't last long, did it? He's basically telling his story about his mother and his tragic childhood, and he's scared that his child will turn out like him. Yeah, Norman Bates is having a kid, be afraid. Now, showing the backstory of Norman Bates isn't really a bad idea. Hell, we even got the screenwriter of the original Psycho, Joseph Stefano, back for this one. But I'm sorry, I found this movie to be an absolute bore. In fact, if it was for Olivia Hussey's over-the-top performance as Norma Bates, this might be unwatchable. I mean, she's great in this film. She is hamming it up and just having a ball with this performance. I totally believe that this is Norman's mother. Aside that, I really didn't like this one. I didn't. The present day stuff wasn't interesting to me. The backstory stuff, with exception on Olivia Hussey, was barely fucking adequate. I hate to rag on these made-for-TV movies, but for a movie that was written by Joseph Stefano and directed by Anthony Perkins, I expected more. I'm sorry. Coming number 4 is the Psycho remake. Well, I don't like this remake. I actually kind of hate it. So how is this not at the bottom? It's quite simple actually. The Bates Motel pilot was a haunted house type thing that should have been divorced from the Psycho series altogether. That's why it's at the bottom. It's not a Psycho movie. And as far as the beginning is concerned, yes, this bored me too, but at the very least this is a better script because it's literally the same script as the original. In addition, while the only thing keeping me entertained was Olivia Hussey's performance, I found a little more to like in this one. William Hay Macy is an awesome Africast. Julian Moore and Viggo Mortensen are very good in their roles as well, and I have to give credit that Gus Van Sant was at least trying to be faithful to Hitchcock's version. The problem is he was way too faithful. Well, apparently he did the movie because he found that new generations weren't really appreciating the film and black and white films in general. So he decided to remake the movie exactly the way it was, just in color for a new generation. So why it drastically backfired on him for obvious reasons. I mean, at least it was well intentioned. At least he was trying. But all in all, it doesn't matter. I can give all the excuses in the book and say that the intentions were good. This shot-for-shot remake was not only pointless, it's often boring. The black and white aesthetic really helped the original film. If you watch the shower scene and both the original and this back to back of this version, this version is horrible to the point of weeping hilarity. I cannot stress how badly some of these recreated scenes tanked just because they were in color. Vince Vaughn was horribly cast as Norman Bates, and H was a totally miscast Marion Crane, and none of the dialogue from the original script was updated, despite this version taking place in the 90s. So you have people in the 90s talking like they're in the fucking 60s. It's really awkward. I'm not lying. Coming at number 3 on the list is Psycho 3. Psycho 3 is a rather interesting case for me because for the most part I didn't enjoy the movie. It takes place soon after Psycho 2 where Norman Bates is again taken over by Mother. He's killing his mother and you see the psychological damage is causing him that a new woman stumbles across the motel with a secret of her own. Being that this woman reminds him very much of Marion Crane of the first film. Norman tries to push forward and gain some form of redemption and a semblance of a normal life, but because plot requires it to, the things don't get the way Norman wants to do. First and foremost, while I really didn't like the beginning, I gotta give Anthony Perkins some credit that he did a pretty good job behind the camera in this one, especially for a first-time director. He clearly understood the atmosphere that both Hitchcock and Franklin were going for in their films. So, the film is well directed. I also really like the acting in this movie. Perkins is great as always as Norman Bates. Yana Scarwood's performance as Maureen Coyle, I think steals the show. I mean, I love that character, and it was also good to see Jeff Fahey, sorry if I pronounced his name wrong, Lapidus from Lost, playing such a douchebag. I mean, he's such an entertaining asshole in this film. Like, seriously, I would say watch this film just for him. Like he's a fucking delight. The thing is, despite the thing I liked in this movie, Jesus Christ, guys, I had to stop recording when I just wake up. Jesus Christ. There were parts in the movie which just felt like it was just simply repeating things from the last two movies. Like it was just sort of going through the motions. I mean, this goes right down to having this new girl looking identical to Marion Crane. Of course, there's someone in town saying he's going to slip up again. Of course, there are people who are saying, oh, give him another chance. Of course, the character that was built up so well has to fucking die. Norman eventually found happiness, I guess, in the fourth film, but if you are gonna do that, you already had a great setup for that here. Why not do that here? I mean, really? Yeah, I don't really understand the logic behind it. Don't get me wrong, the third act where Norman goes full on Mother is just awesome. But I also felt like the film really wasted Maureen Coyle, which was a real shame. Also, the film ceased to recall what I thought was a real cool revelation at the end of the second film. They just reversed it like it didn't matter, but it did matter. It was a big fucking reveal at the end of that film. Still, despite its faults, Psycho 3 is a solid sequel for what it is. It has a lot of good in it, but also a lot of bad in it. That really drags it down. Coming at second place, surprisingly, is the original Psycho. Well, I loved it since the day I saw it. It's a film that really knows how to build up suspense and tension and takes a lot of unexpected risks. I mean, Killing Janet Leigh, who was a high-profile actress at the time, before the halfway point, where she had already been established as the main character. That was a ballsy move. I mean, the shower scene is just iconic. The scene of Norman dressed like his mother was insane, and the final shot of the movie is just unforgettable. This is a top tier horror movie. I've praised it for years. Anthony Perkins, Vera Miles, Janet Leigh, John Gavin, everyone just brings their A tier to this film. What's so disturbing about Norman Bates is that when you first see him and he's talking to Marion Crane, they're just having a normal conversation. He's the most normal, unassuming person you can imagine. You would never suspect there was anything not in the up and up with this guy. That's what makes the ending where he dressed up like his mother so fucking terrifying. You think he's having conversations with his mother when you hear them earlier in the film, but it's just Norman talking to himself with his mother's corpse sitting next to him. If you've never seen this film, do yourself a favor and give it a watch. I know the ending won't be surprising anymore because it's kind of not common knowledge at this point, but it's kind of like the I'm your father scene from Empire Strikes Back. But take what I've said into account and trust me, give this a watch, please, I'm begging you. And coming in number 1 is Psycho 2. Well, surprisingly to be fair, this is a film I only saw twice last year, and to say I was absolutely floored by it would be a big understatement. Psycho 2 is one of the best sequels ever made and one of the most suspenseful horror movies you can imagine. I never thought that anything would top the original film in the series, but I was quickly proven wrong about halfway throughout this film. The film sees Norman Bates being released from the asylum after 22 years of being locked away. He's being cured of mother, and the only thing he wants to do is put his horrible past behind him. Unfortunately, if you know anything about the court of public opinion, let's face it, you're on YouTube, yes you do, some people just refuse to let him. What this movie does so effectively and what sets it from the rest of the pack is that Norman Bates, throughout this film, he's cured. Mother is no longer in control. He wants to move past it and try to have a life. But through it all, no one is more afraid of Norman Bates than Norman Bates. Norman Bates is so afraid that he's gonna slip up again and start killing again. And it's actually kind of tragic getting into his head like that. But make no mistake, in this film, Norman Bates isn't a bad guy. At all. Believe it or not, the bad guy in this film is actually the heroine from the first film, who refuses to believe that Norman is cured, and so she goes into extreme lengths to keep him locked up, to get him locked up again, even going as far to have her daughter befriend Norman and manipulate him. I mean, sorry, but she's the real psycho in this film, and what makes this heartbreaking is that Norman was fine. And would have stayed fine if people just would have left them alone. But what makes this script so brilliant is that you can understand Lila Crane's position in this as well. Even though she's the villain of this film, you can understand her position. So there is a way to really sympathize with both sides here. It's a risky venture writing wise if not handled well, but Psycho handles it with perfection. The chemistry between Norman Bates and Meg Tilly's Mary is wonderful. I love how conflicted Mary is about what she and her mother are doing to him, and as she sees that Norman isn't a bad person, but rather someone recovering from mental illness who just wants to live the rest of his life free of his mother and in peace. Anthony Perkins gives hands down his best performance in this film. Just the way you see him struggling with trying to be normal while also being scared of going nuts again. It's so compelling. Meg Tilly, she's absolutely adorable. Her back and forth with Perkins is the heart of the film, and how the story ends is one of the most tragic things I've ever seen on film from a psychological standpoint. I adore Psycho 2. If you haven't seen it, you're doing yourself a disservice. See it now. Well, that's my ranking of Psycho. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this ranking. Please let me know what your ranking of the series is in the comment section below. please subscribe to my channel and like the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And let me know what your thoughts were on the Bates Motel series. Maybe then that is probably gonna determine if I'm gonna watch the series. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.